The Grand Senate of Kepler 442 fell silent as Emperor Zexthol raised his crystalline appendages, each one crackling with bioelectric energy that had conquered 1,000 worlds. His voice, a harmonious blend of clicking mandibles and subsonic rumbles, echoed through the vast chamber where representatives from across the galaxy had gathered. "Today marks a glorious chapter in our empire's history," the Galaxy King declared, his compound eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "The final human stronghold on Terra has been reduced to atomic dust. The plague that was humanity has been eradicated from our perfect universe." Cheers erupted from the assembled delegates, the chittering Vexhi, the crystalline Gentari, and dozens of other species that had joined the Galactic Empire. For 50 years, humanity had been the thorn in their collective side, refusing to submit to the natural order that placed the Galaxy King at the apex of all civilization. Alexander Chen had been monitoring the broadcast from the abandoned mining station on Proxima 7, his weathered hands gripping the console as the alien emperor's words reached him through the quantum communicator. At 45, the former Earth Defense Force colonel carried the weight of humanity's last hope on his shoulders. Beside him, Nora Martinez, a brilliant xenobiologist turned resistance fighter, watched the feed with cold, calculating eyes. "They think they've won," Nora whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the station's life support systems. Her dark hair was streaked with premature gray, a testament to the stress of leading humanity's scattered remnants for the past decade. Alexander's jaw tightened as he watched the celebrating aliens. Let them celebrate. They have no idea what they've awakened. For months, Alexander and Nora had been preparing for this moment. They had salvaged technology from a dozen worlds, recruited the most dangerous humans from the furthest reaches of space, and developed something the Galaxy King couldn't comprehend, a network of humans who had learned to think like their enemies while retaining what made them uniquely, terrifyingly human. "Initiate Protocol Baba Yaga," Alexander commanded, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Across the galaxy, sleeper cells of humans activated. These weren't the uniformed soldiers the aliens expected. They were mechanics, traders, servants, and slaves who had spent years embedded within the Empire's infrastructure. Each had a specific role to play in what would become known as the Terran Revelation. 3 days after the Galaxy King's declaration of victory, Nora stood at the entrance to the Grand Senate chamber. She wore the simple gray robes of a maintenance worker, her identification badge marking her as one of the countless invisible servants who kept the massive station functioning. The Galactic Empire's greatest weakness was their inability to see lesser beings as threats. The security scanners detected no weapons on her person. They couldn't have. Nora's body had been modified over years of careful preparation. Her bones had been replaced with a biocompatible metal alloy, her blood infused with nanobots, and her nervous system enhanced with quantum processors. She was no longer entirely human, but she was something far more dangerous. As the Senate session commenced, with Emperor Zexthol again basking in his victory over the extinct human race, Nora made her way to the central maintenance shaft. Her enhanced reflexes allowed her to move through the station's bowels with supernatural grace, avoiding detection systems that had been designed to catch conventional threats. Alexander watched through her neural link from their command ship, now positioned just outside the system's sensor range. Around him, the last free humans prepared for what would either be their species' final stand or their greatest triumph. "Remember," he transmitted to the sleeper cells across the galaxy, "we're not here for conquest. We're here to remind them why predators should fear their prey." Nora reached the Senate chamber's primary power coupling. Her modified hands interfaced directly with the alien technology, her nanobots spreading through the station's network like a virus. But this wasn't an attack, it was an introduction. Emperor Zexthol was in the middle of outlining his expansion plans when every screen in the chamber flickered to life. The alien delegates looked around in confusion as the displays showed not propaganda, but surveillance footage from across their empire. Human faces stared back at them, thousands of them. Workers in their factories, servants in their homes, pilots flying their ships, technicians maintaining their weapons. The dead had returned and they were everywhere. Nora stepped into the Senate chamber, no longer bothering to hide. Her gray robes fell away, revealing the biomechanical hybrid she had become. Part human determination, part alien technology, and wholly terrifying to beings who believed in their natural superiority. "My name is Nora Martinez," she announced, her voice amplified by the station's own communication system. "I represent the supposedly extinct human race." The Galaxy King rose from his throne, his bioelectric energy crackling with rage and fear. "Impossible. We destroyed Terra. We eliminated your species." Nora smiled, and there was something deeply unsettling about the expression. "You destroyed a planet, Your Majesty. But humanity was never just about one world. We are adaptation. We are survival. We are the species that looks at the impossible and says, 'Watch me.'" Across the galaxy, Alexander's signal reached every sleeper cell simultaneously. Human servants revealed themselves as saboteurs, disrupting planetary defenses and communication networks. Human slaves demonstrated that they had spent their captivity learning every weakness in their captors' technology. Human traders showed that they had been mapping every strategic asset in the Empire for years. In the Senate chamber, Emperor Zexthal realized the magnitude of his miscalculation. The humans hadn't been hiding, they had been preparing. Every defeat had taught them something new about their enemies. Every loss had made them more determined to ensure it never happened again. "What do you want?" the Galaxy King demanded, his voice now lacking its earlier confidence. Nora's smile widened. "To negotiate. You see, Your Majesty, you were right about one thing. The old humanity is extinct. What stands before you now is something you helped create. We are Humanity 2.0, and we've learned to play by galaxy rules." Alexander watched from his command ship as alien vessels across the Empire found themselves with human crews who knew every system, every weakness, every fear their former masters harbored. The great irony was that the Galaxy King's oppression had forged exactly the opponent. He could never defeat humans who had learned to be more than human while never forgetting what made them human in the first place. The galaxy would never be the same. The age of easy conquest was over, replaced by an era where the predators learned to negotiate with their erstwhile prey. And at the center of it all stood the truth the Galaxy King had failed to understand. You can kill humans, but you cannot kill humanity's refusal to stay dead. The Baba Yaga had come to the Senate, and the galaxy would learn to fear the sound of human footsteps in the dark.